Hey everybody, I'm Greg Sowell, and this is Why Am I, a podcast where I talk to interesting people and try and trace a path to where they find themselves today. My guest this go-around is Molly Balloons. Imagine, if you will, a 9-foot woman coming at you in the biggest balloon dress you've ever seen, but also wearing a 10-foot tall balloon crown and probably sporting the biggest smile you've ever seen. That's how some extremely lucky individuals get to meet Molly for the first time. She exudes like this crazy energy that makes me remember how anything is possible. And she says that 19-year-olds remember things we've forgotten, but honestly, Molly hasn't forgotten. And she's here to remind you. I hope you enjoy this frantically random chat with Molly. Molly Balloons, thank you for joining me on the Why Am I podcast.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for having me.
I love your intro. Is so calm and collected.
What a treat.
It must be so hard for you to pull it together for just a couple of seconds to be calm and collected. My goodness.
Yeah, you start off with a warm, feminine, grateful, slow energy, and then you just flamethrower from there.
You sound very southern.
I just wanted to specify that the noise, that was a flamethrower cocking. I just didn't, just for clarity.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to confuse our listeners.
I was gonna say I'm all about precision here. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you and I are waiting somewhere, and I'm assuming we're waiting for the fantasy restaurant to open, right? We're out front. I'm probably going to be your waiter, more than likely, but I don't want to give away the game. Oh my God, what a treat. But we're sitting out there, we're waiting a little bit, so we're kind of just bullshitting, back and forth. I tell you a little bit about me, we kind of talk about that. And now it's your turn to reciprocate, so who are you?
Oh, what a treat. Oh, the setting is we're shooting the shit outside of the fantasy restaurant?
We could be.
What a dumb clarifying question. I think that is exactly what we're doing.
All right.
Oh, well, gee. What do you want to know? Okay, fine. I'll tell you.
Just who are you? How do you define yourself?
My name is Molly Balloons. My favorite color is turquoise. I have 2 older brothers and a younger sister. I don't believe in pet peeves. I believe in pet faves. And one of my pet faves is when a kid does finger guns at me, and when people yell in French. I'm a pretty good lucid dreamer, which is really fun. I don't own jeans. I have that's it. That's all the things about me. It's all right there.
Just laid out bare before me.
Yep.
So why would you start with your favorite color? What's so important that people need to know your favorite color first?
Oh, it's like that favorite of mine. It's like that central into my. It's like first detail about me level.
Really? Because when I think of,
I just love colors in general.
When I think of turquoise, I think of older people with way too dark a tan who love Native American art and jewelry. You don't strike me as that kind of person.
I'm not quite there yet.
No.
Oh, it's just the best color. Hey, it's just, beautiful in its own right. And it also plays so well with other colors. You can toss turquoise into anything and it's always cool. Pretty much. It always livens up a color scheme and brightens up oh my God, brightens up a color scheme.
When you wear turquoise,
and also turquoise goes with turquoise. Turquoise goes with turquoise. Turquoise goes with other blues. Some colors don't play well with themselves. Yellow doesn't really often match yellow. That's a trickier one.
I just wear black, so I don't have to think about it. Everything matches with black.
Yeah, okay. I fuck with the utilitarian, uniform vibe.
Yeah.
Having your the Steve Jobs one uniform. I could never, because it's too much of a joy for me. It's such a form of expression. But I love the idea of a uniform.
I usually go with dark colors, but then I like super bright screaming accessories like shoes, sunglasses,
Oh, yeah.
hats. Like that's
Oh,
where
yeah.
I get a little bit wackier.
That's honestly I think that's where the outfit really has more potential.
Yeah. So whenever you
Like a
wear
two-piece outfit
turquoise,
is hard to just like blow it out of the water with two garments.
oh, for sure, man. And, well, I mean,
Harder.
you could
I
get
still
pretty
will, but
you can go pretty hard with like patterns and stuff like that. But if you're
you can
wearing
pretty hard.
turquoise, like what is the feeling it gives you to wear turquoise? Like
I actually wore all turquoise yesterday. I was wearing my new turquoise overalls that I got last week on my birthday, and a
Nice.
turquoise little tight little crop top underneath, and a turquoise snapback, and my blue Converse that I wear every day, pretty much. And I even wore turquoise socks, which was just like a fun little, and panties, which was just like a little, just a moment just for me. And now a moment for all of you too, because we love creating moments just for yourself.
Absolutely. It's your own little private secret.
Yeah, I've been lately doing. This is a joke. Just for me, from me. Every time I do it, when I pass by a full length mirror, especially if it's not a mirror I go by often, I like freeze frame in Bigfoot pose, but I'm kind of blurry because I'm still walking, and then I keep walking, and I just oh Bigfoot. Try it next time. Just a joke for you.
Really? I've got
Yeah, because I mean, imagine making that joke to the surrounding. Like, it's just not that funny if you have to like present it as a joke, but it's just you to you. Quite fun. Quite fun.
I do a similar one to like my partner. So like whenever we're walking and I see like a really old lady, I'll lean over to my wife and I'll say, "Look at that slut over there." Just just pull. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
That's not. Oh, I'll be using that one. That's one going straight to the shtick list.
Yeah. I mean, and it's never not funny. It's always
Yeah.
fun.
The company I keep is pretty high in the like clown ratio. And it's really fun when somebody's an actual clown looking like an actual clown to like this fucking clown. Like that's funnier than it should be every time you get to do it. Whatever city you're listening in from, really consider throwing an annual clown party.
An annual clown party? So
yeah, this is a concept that is not a very like scalable like business idea of mine, but I believe in it. Like I don't think I like the touring clown party that I throw with your group of friends in your city is like I don't know that this is the money making move. But, like, so I'm not going to treat it like that. But I just really believe in the message of like throw your own clown party every year.
Well, I know you've done like. And I mean, you totally didn't even bother to explain why your last name is Balloons or have that be part of your definition. But I know you've like thrown, like it seemed like a small detail you might have dropped in there. Not to say, 'cause I want people to find themselves however they want, right? Like, tell me how you see yourself. And I like all of those great things.
True. Yeah, the context of people listening to this or like they don't necessarily have any idea what the balloon deal is. So I am actually tickled that I brushed over all of that. Months, you'll figure it out later.
But yeah. Look me up. You guys have the internet.
Yeah.
But
that's a really charming sentence to say. Is Google me.
Yeah, you used to do like a balloon fashion show, right? Like, wasn't that like a thing you did?
I did for 4 years before the pandemic in Kansas City, my hometown. Ooh, that was such a killer show. I'm actually really frothing to do another one. It was so cool.
I saw some of the pictures, dude. It looked like a hell of a party. It looked like just
It's
a blast.
hell of a party. Yeah, the dress code is I made it rowdy black tie. So anything goes, but make it good. But like anything goes. Like really take a hold of the fact that anything goes. Like wear your craziest shit. Yeah, this past year the theme was very like retro futurism, but my own take on that. And so in my head, how I crafted it. And like a lot of art is like this where the way you've painted the backstory or the storyline or whatever of this thing that you're presenting is way more thorough than the audience will ever be able to pick up on. But the fact that it's really thorough is kind of tangible to the viewer. Do you know what I mean by that? Like really good art usually has a really thorough backstory with its own artist, even if you don't know what it is. You can kind of tell that does have that like depth and cohesion of like where the imagination was playing when it created this. So in my head, it was like down the runway it's like an intergalactic Met Gala. It was for this year's theme. This 2019, I guess, was the last one. And like everybody came on their different spaceships from their different lands. Very like Star Wars Cantina vibe, where it's like we're all in the same movie, but we clearly come from our different planets. And like each like spaceship landed, and then the like walkway went, and then the walk down the runway was each model's walk down that thingy. What is that called?
I don't know, like the
spaceship landing walkway.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like in my head, that was the usable context of the show. And so dancers who all like came out together, and then there was like a point ballerina, there was a break dancer, there was a rollerblader, there was somebody on a hoverboard, there was it was just so much fun. So much fun. And then we strike the chairs, and we rolled out on this rolling scaffolding this massive balloon spaceship, and that's what the DJ booth was. And it turns into this insane party, and the DJs were DJing from a spaceship in the middle of the floor. It's so much fun. I love the balloon fashion show so much.
It's so funny. Like I've never seen you in real life, but like all the pictures I see of you and stuff like that, and like the vibes you give me, you feel like all of my favorite candy kids I've ever run into when I've been like to a rave. Like just like that crazy high energy, just here moving in this like same direction as everybody else, like just having a great time.
Oh my God. That's such a funny compliment, because candy kids are just like largely pretty unimpressive. I was just thinking about this the other day. No, maybe yesterday. Yesterday while I was driving, I was thinking about this, that like I have a new friend, and they're 19, and I was just thinking about like what a fun to hang out with sometimes, because like bigger kids, like big kids, not 19-year-olds, like people who have like, I don't know, taken a little bit more of made more mistakes already, you know? Like we know things that 19-year-olds don't and have never discovered yet, but 19-year-olds know things that we have forgotten. What a nice difference, because like, so they're just such important reminders of this like fearless boisterousness and agreeability that candy kids so are.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, I just love your ignorance, you candy kid. God, you know, you're such a living embodiment of what so much of us are actively forgetting. You know, and I don't want to put it in the negative of actively forgetting, but like working to find again, you know, the literal ecstasy of being a candy kid.
Well, the thing that like
I do really strive to be like a to like stay soft, and like foster my childlike awe and wonder, so I can like bring back adults from their been theirs and done that's, and step into their playful side. So I do try to like, I guess, keep my candy kid alive, I guess.
Well, like for me, like when I like really think about it, like the spirit of that is like they still have imagination. You know what I mean? Like everything is a possibility, and they are like excited. Like they still have that excitement. Like, you know, that anything is truly possible, and it's like this night is going to be like this amazing adventure. And so, you know, it's like like that has been beaten out of me for so many years that I love when I meet people that still have that vibe, that energy, like can hold on to that.
Totally. Of anything's a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the willingness to put effort into it. That's huge too. Because when you like in a world of like 9 to 5s, it's hard. I mean, not that I've literally ever worked one, so what would I know? But like, it's very burner. This is very burner to like let's have a movie night, and you know what, let's just like go through the effort of like setting up the projector in the tree outside and moving an entire mattress and setting up all the pillows and inviting our friends, and somebody's going to bake something for it. Like just go through the effort to make the fun moment happen. And it's so worth the payout. Like drive 4 hours because your friend's having a birthday party and it sounds fun and you're not doing anything else. Just like drive. You're not busy. It's Friday night. You just go to your friends. Like do it. Fuck it. And like it's worth the setup. It's worth the effort for the like juicy, ephemeral payout of fun.
That's I think that quantifies you pretty well, because like you're talking about all this buildup, like you do this amazing balloon stuff, whether it's fashion or art or like installations or all that stuff. It's so much effort. I know that goes into that stuff, but
Yeah, no.
like you said, it's ephemeral, right? It's only going to last so long. And so
It's gone.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I really do like that about my.
It's all
go
worth
ahead.
it.
And it's all worth it. Yeah, that it's just a microcosm of what we're doing anyway, which is really brief.
Yeah.
And it's and more so than being brief, because I mean, yeah, life is short, but it's also the longest thing we're ever going to do. So, it's really fleeting.
Yeah.
And so like you don't wait till later to enjoy a balloon hack, because it's really it's at the very obvious center of what it is that thing is. But it's easier to forget that about our lives because we have jobs and schools and political systems and debt and law and Pinterest and like appointments and whatever else. And so it's easy to like get bogged down and make it and to feel like a non-player character. But it's like really, really only right now. It's only ever right now. And so I really cherish that my medium is it can be such an effective conduit and like vehicle to bring people into that here and now. Like that, I feel so fortunate to have such a bitchin' tool for that. Because that's like, I mean, like I in my life I've had some like I've kind of waded through this complex of feeling like I wasn't bringing something important enough, because like somebody's got to fix the power grid and somebody's got to like cure cancer and like people are dying and I'm not helping. And but then I realized like, well, yeah, you don't have the skill sets to help really, like still recycle and still do your thing and go to protests and donate to the things and educate yourself and all of that. And also we need joy and playfulness and right here and right now, and fun is so important. Like having fun is what makes it all worth it. And so more and more I just embrace it, and I'm like, yeah, that's just like we need a clown. The world's crazy, we need clowns. Yeah. I also am finally rounding the bed. I'm just being like, yeah, you're a clown.
Just full acceptance.
Yeah. I'm a secret clown though. I don't come right out and say clown, like in my like presentation. It's like secret things. Like I secretly have a tiny umbrella in my backpack, or I like actually have a squeaking titty, So I like it secretive.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking about like these like
this
these
restaurant pregame has been great. We're getting their line is crazy backed up right now, and I'm
yeah, for sure, man. Well, I was thinking about like what you have to go through to actually put on like an event like that, and it is no small feat, man. And it's like, where do you get the balls to say, hey, I'm gonna do this thing?
For sure. Should I give the audience any context of what it is that I do?
Yeah, absolutely. Rock and roll,
or should
man.
I still just go like deep or like high level explanations of, like,
yeah, give us the lore, dude.
Ooh, that's a good 4-letter. Goon lore. That's a nuck earlier before we started recording.
Loon lore.
Loon lore.
Yeah, I like the loon lore.
Sheesh. Damn. Yeah, that's the one. All right, loon lore, part 1. Earlier before we started recording, not that we talked about anything and that you missed out on anything, but we did discover the bank tube would fit as a nuck tat, which is wild. Okay, so I learned how to make balloons when I was a kid because my parents are awesome. And they took one look at me and they were like, yeah, that's not a soccer kid. So they put me in theater classes and bought me like crafty books of, so I was like into macrame and into origami. And one fateful Christmas, my mom got me a how to make balloons book. So it was this like craft I had in my toolbox as a kid. And then working a summer camp when I was 14 before high school, I picked it back up and started making it for the kids, and people were like, "Oh my God." And then they burped. And they said, "Do you do parties?" And I was like, "Ooh, actually, yep, sure do. I sure do parties. Do." And then I called a restaurant by my parents' house my first semester of my freshman year of high school. I was 15. And I just like bold-faced lied. I was like, "Hi, I'm a local professional balloon artist. Would you like to hire me for your kids' events?" And they were like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, fuck. I did not plan for that part at all. Okay, yeah, great. Okay. So I got my business cards, I got my Facebook page, I got my balloon apron, I got my older brother's childhood best friend's mom's fireworks stands, red and white striped pants.
Oh my God.
Um, and like I've always had an aptitude for this, but that didn't mean I was like actually fast or knew how to make anything. So I was slow at like four different designs. And I was $50 for 2 hours plus tips. My rates have not gone up. And I showed up and I was Miss Molly Moo at the time, LOL. Oof. V1, it was fine. And I like started my career that way of just like rubber meets the road, figuring it all out as I went along, and then nurtured it as a side hustle throughout high school. It kind of like allowed me to not have to get a job doing something else. But I was mostly using it as a craft while I was busy doing all the other stuff in high school, like being the mascot and being really into ceramics and doing theater and doing dance and doing and skipping class and whatever else. Um, and then like junior year ish, I was like 16, 17. I started really digging my teeth into it as a form of expression and coming up with my own designs, which is like a subtle, significant shift from a craft to an art, is how I consider it. Because I discovered this guy's work. Actually, this was when I was like 15. I discovered this guy's work. I'm going to give you the medium length version, and you're going to like it. And this guy, Adis Somek, traveled to 34 different countries with this photographer named Charlie Eckert in the late 90s, making balloon hats for people of all different demographics and backgrounds and belief systems in all different environments and everything. And had this beautiful photo series. And it had the mission statement of to demonstrate and document the universal power of joy and laughter. And I got my hands on that when I was 15, like first starting it all, first picking it all back up. And it was the truest thing I'd ever seen. Like I was really balls deep in church at the time, and I was, you have to be balls deep in school at the time. And like church was never that true, and school was never that true. But like this body of work with that set of goals was so resoundingly true. And the balloon hats he made for people were really abstract and improvisational, really a collaboration with who they were. So it was this very like immediate, improvisational, intuitive, humanitarian, not humanitarian as like philanthropy work, but just humanitarian as in the study of the human and just interested in the human experience, balloon style. I was like, this is the truest thing. So that became like an obsession of mine. So then like 16, 17, like sophomore, junior year, I got really into making balloon hats. Because also like, hello, fashion, like way cooler than like holding a thing out of balloons. And I ended up actually meeting that guy, Adis Somek. I like tagged him in a thing on Facebook, and he responded, oh my God. And like when you're 16, there's like I didn't have a sense for like the interval of accessibility between somebody like Adie Somek and Zac Efron. Like in my 16-year-old from Kansas world, like they're both gods. So when reached out and was like, "Oh, I really like your balloon hats, Molly, and I'm not just being phony and polite. I really like them. I'm working a gig in St. Louis. How far away are you from that? You want to work with me?" I was like,
Whoa.
"Oh my God!" Like LeBron James was like, "I'm gonna be in the neighborhood. You want to shoot some hoops?" It was like, so I got to meet and work with Adie when I was 17. It was prom night, but I was like, fuck prom, which would also fit on Knuckle Tats. That's an easy choice. And that kind of like ingrained me further in this route. And so then my senior year, I wanted to make, I wanted to be homecoming queen. And I knew balloon dresses were a thing. I did not invent the balloon dress. And so I made my first balloon dress for my senior homecoming. And I won homecoming, which was fun. Wow, what a mumbled sentence, but I don't want to repeat it because I already felt douchey about saying it once. And then like academia was never really my scene, and I already had a functioning business. Like, so yeah, then I screeched across the finish line of high school, and I went straight into being Molly Balloons. Somewhere along that line, I switched from being Miss Molly Moo to being Molly Balloons, which was a solid rebrand.
Yeah, I can dig it.
And then I graduated and went into the world with like the like hunger and energy and like fearlessness of an 18-year-old who'd never been many places from Kansas, like extrovert on crack status, just like I want to meet the whole world. And so I like started going to all the events in Kansas City, like cultural events, like the monthly First Friday art fair thing. I just like would show up to everything wearing a balloon dress and just being like, "Hi, I'm Molly Balloons. Here's a business card." And I was just talking to a friend like last week about this, about how I'll never be a better self-promoter than I was when I was 19. Because you got the self-awareness of a 19-year-old. But you just don't give a shit. Y'all just like interrupt you to tell you I'm Molly Balloons and then like float away. Like it's like damn near inconsiderate, but it was so effective. So then I like worked to put myself on the map in Kansas City, and started doing more balloon dresses and really realized the performance potential of balloon fashion. Like the when the Royals went to the World Series, and then I made a balloon dress for every game of the World Series, and then like ended up at the Royals parade when we won. And for like 4 hours, anywhere between like 4 and 40 cameras were pointed at me in this big balloon ball gown and down Main Street. And like that was a really significant experience in my career because we kind of all realized the potential of this thing.
Right.
Like businesses will pay good money for that level of social traction. Holy shit. Because it's so interesting up close. You can like zoom in and be like, oh my God, all of that is woven intricately to perfectly fit your figure. What the fuck? And from afar, it's really entertaining because it's this big ball gown and I this big personality. So then I pursued that more. I was a stripper for 5 months, from like October to March, which was great and taught me so many things. And for a long time hasn't been part of my like narrative, but now I'm like, that's badass. Why would I not? That's great. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like bought my first car. I paid for my first balloon fashion show. It also just kind of puts the hair on your chest, which is nice. You just kind of learn to like roll with it a little bit more. You get a little bit more street smart, which is good. And you learn like, fuck, come on, you want to talk the art of the deal? Go be a stripper for 5 months. You will be a better negotiator forever. Literally. So I think it really helped me in like holding my own in like business negotiations, because you're in both like what I now do versus when like you're just like wearing your heels at a strip club. You're like trying to balance a sense of like, I like you, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. This like not suspended belief, but you want to make it feel really personal and like it's a positive relationship that with your client, whatever, but then also make sure to like, you have to like put the price tag on it and make that work. So how do you fuse that together gracefully to where people still feel loved and celebrated and delighted with your services, and also and don't feel like weird and transactional, or and you can just like charge all the things you can charge, without any guilt, and make it just like fun for everybody. Great. Then oh yes, then I paid for my first fashion show, because I'd always wanted to do one, and I don't know, I wish I could get in my head at that time, because I really am proud of myself for like taking that leap. Like, what? And then I started doing more decor from there, and like people would just like, somebody asked for a 20-foot tall pineapple, and I would just be like, yeah, okay, sure, and then I'd figure it out. And that's very like that's kind of been a marquee of my, or a motif rather, of my style career wise, is like, somebody wants a thing, or I promote or present or pitch a thing, and then once I sell it, I figure out how to do it. And we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. So then I started doing a lot more decor, and then I started building bigger and bigger balloon looks, and started doing stilt dresses, and then that kind of went national a little bit, and then that went international, and then I started needing a crew somewhere in there, and so then I like Molly Balloon somewhere along the line got to be more than a one-person job, and so then I had staff, and then eventually I needed to hire somebody full-time. So I did that, and like that was a golden era of just like crazy productivity. I honed in on what like, and okay, so I did this job in Qatar in 2017, that really like in a subtle way like shifted where the train tracks went, just ever so slightly, but in a really powerful way when you go down the line, because it helped remind me like the budgets are out there, so don't shrink yourself into being affordable for the regular person, because like you're not. You offer a bizarre, novel luxury service, and if other people can't afford you, that's not your problem, and that's fine, but be as specialized as you want, because somebody will want it. Just do it really well. So like aim high. And I always kind of did that. I never really like, I really only ever did like kids' birthday parties like in high school. And so ever since then I've been trailblazing like a balloon couture entertainment. So a lot of what I do is do entertainment, like two balloon dress girls wearing like matching wigs and matching balloon dresses go with a handler to your cocktail hour at your whatever, and we like shoot the shit with the crowd and like start a hand tunnel on their way in, and like take pictures with everybody, and maybe there's like one of us is, there's a third of us on stilts or whatever, and we like are this like roaming photo op character activation. And a lot of times I'll sell that with big decor, and then that decor became over the years more and more experiential. Wow, I am giving you kind of a long version.
No, I dig it.
Okay. All right.
It sounds like a lot of what you're talking about. I mean, you're kind of talking about, like being able to negotiate and blah, blah, blah. It sounds like a lot of it comes down to knowing your worth, like what you're worth, and valuing what you do. And it sounds like you've never had an ounce of imposter syndrome, because you are just like, so full force at gung ho. But for the rest of us, I think that is like a constant struggle. It's like, valuing what you do,
There was one gig I did in 2019, actually 10 days before that fashion show we were talking about. Or not 10 days, one weekend before, and then 10 days before the fashion show. So like 3 days before this gig, my fashion show venue canceled. It was such a crazy 2 weeks. There was this one gig where all my imposter syndrome that I had like, had a stronghold against. No, that's not really the right term. Whatever. That I have avoided for my whole career came crashing down on me, and I was like, dang, I am so glad I have not had to fight this whole time, because oh my God, this is shackles. But it finally felt like, oh my God, they're gonna figure out that I'm gonna get busted. They're gonna realize that I'm not legit. It was for the Kaufman Center of the Performing Arts, and I was doing this 50-foot by 50-foot balloon cloud. That's like 10,000 balloons. And so it was like really heavy on the like engineering and blueprinting and logistics and permits and flying the right people out. And it was just like it was all really intense. And they'd never let anybody fly anything in that space before. And this is a kind of like crown jewel building in Kansas City. And then somehow like 20 something me just like slid past, and I realized that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get busted. But otherwise, yeah, I've avoided it.
It seems like most of the successes in my life come from me just saying yes, and then I figure out how to build my parachute on the way down. So yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I could do that. Yes. And then everything's possible that I found.
Everything's possible. And if you, if I were to give like a commencement speech tomorrow, or like 30 minutes after we hung up with each other, it would probably be about nobody's going to give you permission and nobody's going to stop you. Just do things. Nobody's going to like line it all up for you. Just like charge ahead. Because if it's good, people are also probably hopefully going to celebrate it with you.
Yeah.
And if not, then there's something to consider about go where you're celebrated. That's another motif of the career. And I'm so lucky though. Like I have like super supportive parents. And I think my dad would have loved to see me go to college, and he's an educator, but like he gets it. Like they're theater people. They get the successes. They're not only supportive in theory, they really understand the needs of what it is that I do. I mean, like, this is a good example. Like when I was a mascot in high school, they would sit in the bleachers on a Bluetooth, like I had a Bluetooth headset on, and then my dad would be like, all right, Molly, first down. And then I'd do like the first down thing, or like, incomplete pass, Molly. Oh, that was bad, Molly. Okay, you're really upset. And I would just like, they were just right there in it with me. We had so much fun with that. And so I have a super supportive community, and I just like lucked the fuck out finding balloons when I was 15. Like, what a sick grab. Like it's just like the perfect thing that has allowed me to dance along this whole spectrum of visual arts and performance arts, that no matter what I was going to do in life, I was always going to be on that spectrum. And it's so novel, and it's also so literally large that it's easier to charge for it and like go where it never has been gone before. I am just gassing myself up right now. Wow.
I love it.
It's almost unappealing how much I'm just like, yeah.
I'm just the best.
Like I've required no questions before. I was just like, you want to know everything? I'll tell you everything.
Yeah, boom. I mean, give it to me. So it's like, you strike me as the kind of person that really digs human connection. Like that is like super duper important to you.
It's
and it
literally
sounds like
everything.
This medium has opened up like this little superpower where people instantly want to talk to you and open up, and I believe I can just imagine the look on people's faces when you walk up wearing like I saw you with some of these like a 15-foot tall hat sort of thing, like made of balloon. Like it's got to be the most crazy experience. Like people must want to instantly just walk up and hug you like everywhere you go.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I just posted on Instagram. I was in Austin, Texas with some of my besties who have a balloon company there. And for Eeyore's birthday, which happens in this gorgeous park in Austin, whatever, blah, 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 we did this costume just for the shits of it, which is a really nice thing to do with your art form, is just play. Nobody paid us. She just walked on stilts, and I made this balloon. We made this balloon costume for her together. And we just hit the party, and then we only had 50 minutes to walk 50 to walk around, and then I had to we had to zoom back, and I got on a flight and went to my friend's annual clown party actually that night. And so I was not on stilts, and I was not in the dress, which is so rare because I'm really rarely the handler. And so I got to have my phone out recording this wake of heart emoji eyeballs that this balloon costume left. And so I stitched together, and I finally just posted it. It was from like maybe 6 weeks ago, I don't know, of like the joy, like the espresso shot of joy and delight that just like sweeps people when they saw pineapple in these stilts on with balloons on. And I finally like kind of captured it. Because it's just so much fun. Like there's like that feedback loop is such a, like we've all heard of the vicious cycle, but virtuous cycles exist as well. And like that feedback loop of like, I love you, you love me, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love this. We're having a great time. We're having a great time. Ah! It's so joyous and fun. And it's such a part of what has really kept my interest with balloons for 11 years. But it's the most social art form that I've gotten my hands on. Everything about it, like it's a fleeting medium. So like if you make it and then like put it in the gallery, it's like you have to put it in front of the crowd. The audience is part of the art with balloons at least. And I love the energetic resourcefulness that sometimes plays into then of like you have the thing but you never really know what your art is. I never really know what my art is until we press live mode, until the balloon dress walks out of the green room, the lights and flip on the up lights and people come into the nightclub. I also do like last time I had a balloon nightclub for 3 months. So I do these big takeover events as well, where it's like entire environments and experiences built out of balloons. And I don't know what they really are until people are inside of it. Which I love that dance. And there's such a nostalgia to it, which is really fun to play with. Like everybody has had, sorry, I just did something weird. Everybody had a balloon. You can like draw from that, which is great. I love my art form so much. I fucking love balloons.
Yeah, for sure. So I, like I said, I used to go to raves for like a decade or more, which honestly, it died with the pandemic, and I haven't gone back. But I make, and well, at least I used to make and wear light suits. And it was so funny because it's like I'm just covered head to toe with LEDs and I have like infinity mirrors on my chest and stuff like that. And it's just the reaction and experience of being in those environments. And like I've even made some that I can like kind of control. So I can like I don't know, it's almost like a performance, but it's just like the looks on people's faces and just instantly, you just have all these friends that start surrounding you, and it's just, I don't know, man, it's like super magical.
You have friends.
Yeah. And I'm like traditionally like a very shy and quiet person, and so I've got all of a sudden this cheat code to where I can talk to like anybody. You know what I mean? And it was like such like a magical experience for me, and it changed me a lot as a person. Like helped me learn to like be more open and talk to people, more outgoing and things like that. It's so funny, and just it sounds like, I don't know, there's some like I am reticent to say that like our experiences are similar, but it feels like some commonalities.
They're super parallel. When you show up to a thing wearing something that is mind-blowing and excuse me, this sparkling water has been quite the like side. But when you're wearing something that's mind-blowing and for the purpose of bringing joy to everybody, the people can tell, and then you have all these friends immediately. Like you have this like radius of like energetic invite. Like everybody around you is sort of part of this fun because it's for everybody. It's not like fashion that is you can't sit with me fashion. It's like play with me fashion.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so much fun. It's literally so much fun. And the more you go to places I love relearning this lesson, and I love watching people learn this lesson, that like the more you are in environments where people are going above and beyond with their fashion or presentation of self, the more you realize just what a gift it is when somebody looks hilarious or looks over the top and is just really fun, like delightful to absorb with your eyeballs. It's a gift, and then you're inspired to do the same thing, and it's not necessarily to attract attention to yourself or to not. Sometimes whatever, but it's like sharing something special, and then it's like never underestimate the power of looking fun. And then you can take it to the streets and just like, I mean, like the more fun you look all the time, the more fun everything is. Like go to the Apple store in a derby hat and a petticoat, and your customer service experience will be transformed. We need to talk light suits. We don't need to do it right now, but
Oh yeah.
I am about to give you my card information and address.
Oh, I've
How's now?
yeah, that'll work. I've always enjoyed like making them and wearing them and stuff like, but it was sort of this weird dichotomy for me. Like wearing them is that I always felt a little like almost like nervous about wearing them because I knew people would like look at me. But when I saw the looks on people's faces, it's like all that goes away because it's just like, you know, at a rave, dude, everybody is there to have a good time and just the pure joy on like people's faces. And it's like whenever we play like role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, we have this term called AOE, area of effect. And the AOE when you're wearing a light suit is like fairly massive. So everywhere you walk.
I've never heard that term. Okay, that's exactly what I was trying to think of when I was like radius ... I'm literally trying to say AOE. Great. Oh my God. Wow, I am going to be using that a lot.
Yeah, man. So the AOE on your balloon hats is like I don't know 100 yards, dude. Because those things are like so massive.
So fun.
You can see, but with the light suit, you get like a good 30-foot radius. It's not bad when you're in a crowd of people, at least.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fun.
For sure.
Are we going in this restaurant?
I don't know, man. Like we're getting pretty close to the end.
I don't feel like we need to. I had a really great time crafting it. I don't think we need to.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I want to be super respectful of your time. We're coming right up on like the time we had set to stop or whatever. So we barely even, I mean, we didn't even come close to scratching the surface of who Molly Balloons is. But I think what I really wanted to get across and what was so exciting to talk to you was just your energy is like, and just your, like, I'm going to be floating for the rest of the day. Like you are just like so infectious and fun to be around. Like it is insane. So I'm so glad. It doesn't matter what you're saying. I mean, you could have been telling me about like you paying your taxes last week or whatever. Like it would have, like this would have been incredible. So I know
my God, thanks.
People desperately need this kind of energy in their lives. And if you wanted people to interact with you somehow, like people that are listening out on the internet, how would you have them do that? Like use your Instagram, your website. What do you want them to go to?
My home address is 41. Find me on all of the internet and comment on all of my things. Molly Balloons on pretty much everything. MOLLY. Molly like the drugs, balloons like balloons. There's 2 L's and 2 O's in balloons. Instagram is my most. I'm on there the most. TikTok, somebody stole my freaking @Molly Balloons with an old picture of me that hasn't been on the internet for a long time, so that's kind of unnerving. But so now I'm at the real Molly Balloons, which I think is douchey and fine. On Facebook, Molly Balloons. Venmo is Molly Balloons. My website's mollyballoons.party. Hit me up.
Yeah.
I'll leave with this. I talked about pet faves earlier, but like the most important thing that I have to say is about pet faves. I mean, you've heard of pet peeves, obviously. Yes?
Yeah.
Fuck them. They're out. They're so 2000 and late. They really do not serve us. Like, you know, why like create such a strong emotional association with something that might not always bother us, but because we like made it official and punctuated it, then it is a standout disgruntled. That's a noun now. So my revolt, pet faves, bitch, little shit you love. So you're in your Uber and you're in the back seat and you roll down the windows and they go all the way down. They don't stop like 3 inches prior.
Yeah.
Pet fave, baby. Ooh.
Do you hang your arm out or what?
Oh yeah, I hang anything out. Mostly arm. But pet faves are the way of life because not all of life is like glorious and climactic, and a lot of life is a Tuesday. And so booby trap your life with little nuggets of delight because a lot of times that's all we have. And so, like order a pack of 100 squeakers and put them underneath your friend's trash can pedals. And next time you're downloading an app on the iPhone, turn on your ringer and delight in the noise that it makes. And keep a list of pet faves. And compare and contrast with your friends because then their pet faves might become your pet faves.
I love it.
And sometimes life's rough and you can't just be like in ecstatic states. So, but there's always little moments for yourself.
Yeah, I can totally dig it.
If you plant them there.
The last couple of days, you've been my spirit animal. You put up a picture that just said, I think, birthday. And it was you just screaming like absolute pure joy in picture form. That was probably I think I will have that in my mind's eye for the rest of my life of like what pure joy as an adult can look like. I don't know how else to describe it.
Picture.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Just all caps, no tags. Birthday! I had a great birthday.
It was incredible. I think you should tattoo that on your arm of you just like pure joy. That would be amazing.
That picture. Yeah, that picture is actually worth going and finding. I'm wearing like a like damn near like female bow rat like swimsuit. Like it's just like the thong goes up halfway up my back. It's hilarious. It's a picture from the front. Don't get that excited. But like, so the high leg goes like past, like above my waist and just 2 fists up in the air, head like thrown back, just like, eyes closed. I'm wearing like a 50s swim cap and big pearls. And I'm in a backyard with a sprinkler going with a backpack that has a water gun attached. Like definitely on psychedelics, having just a great time.
Yeah. It's one of the more amazing things. Like you're talking about pet fave. Seeing that was definitely a pet fave for the week. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, I might have a new pet fave of a 1-word caption, like a 1-word all caps caption. That's a pet fave.
Yeah. Is another pet fave coming up with cool knuckle tattoo ideas? Is that another one of yours?
That's a lifestyle at this point. Oh my God. I can't get out. I thought of one last night that was really stupid. Oh, what was it? It was like Cuck Life was another one, but that's not what I'm thinking of. That was also yesterday. No, what was it? It was so dumb. It was wife swap. Can you imagine?
Oh my days. Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
thank
Molly,
you so much for having me. What a treat. I feel really important. Thanks for listening to me blabber about myself. My God.
You definitely are important, and you're not talking about yourself. You're sharing yourself with the rest of the world, dude. So never feel bad about it.
Beaver.